The Lakers they blew a 20-point lead to the Suns, and they somehow walked away with a win. Now, Lakers, I'm going to blame a lot of this part on our good friend Marcus Smart. Because Marcus Smart had two key plays in this game that led to massive momentum switches for the Suns. Basically all of the momentum Lakers had in that third quarter, early fourth, just flipped to the Suns. And can I even be mad? Marcus Smart went for a layup and threw it behind. Just go for the layup, Marcus Smart. And then his turnover, like, why are we trying to shoot a layup when you're surrounded by the paint with like 25 seconds left? He should have just held the ball. You gotta drain the shot clock down. I'm sure he knows that. It's just kind of some dumb mistakes. But let's get to what actually, So this game was very close. To the end, the Suns made a great 20-point comeback. The final score ended up being 116 to 114. A very questionable game, especially regarding the referees and the calls. I think the Lakers, they had 43 free throws. So there was, 68 free throws combined in this game. 43 for the Lakers is kind of crazy. And I think there were some missed calls. I don't know if Dylan Brooks, I guess that is a hostile act, but I don't know if he should be ejected for that. Like, him and LeBron, they do not like each other. They were going at each other this entire game. And, like, Dylan Brooks, that should have been a foul. LeBron was in his landing space. I think the Devin Booker foul on LeBron was also a good call. That is the correct call. He did slap his hand, so I'm pretty sure that is a foul. I don't think hand and... Whatever. That Dylan Brooks three-pointer, great shot, but that should have been an and one. That should have been a 4-point play. And realistically, the Lakers did not deserve to win this game. The lack of effort, and just the lack of urgency that led to them blowing this 20-point lead and almost selling this game was crazy in the fourth quarter. But I want to give the Lakers some props because there were some actually great things in this game, and especially during that 20-0 run that the Lakers went on in that third quarter was really the defense looked great, the transition offense was flowing, and you were actually getting solid bench production. Now, this is the type of stuff that if this Lakers team even wants to come close to competing with the Thunder, the Spurs, the Nuggets, the Rockets, they need this on a nightly basis, which unfortunately I don't think it's going to happen. But Jared Vanderbilt, first time getting a real playing time in 10 games, he was great today. And I think the Lakers found a lot of good, hopefully they can keep this identity up, where with Vando, this team got a lot of offensive rebounding, a lot of second chance opportunities that led to this Lakers team getting a lot more opportunities to score, and this is what ultimately led to them even getting that 20-point lead in the first place. We look at Jared Vanderbilt. He had 6 offensive rebounds. Jake LaRavia had 3 offensive rebounds. Jackson Hayes had 3 offensive rebounds. DeAndre Ayton had 6 offensive rebounds. This team as a total had 24 offensive rebounds, which is incredible. And there is a stat out there where the Lakers, I think, are now 10-1 when DeAndre Ayton has more than 9 boards. And DeAndre Ayton had 20 points, 13 boards today. And so I think rebounding could be a real core or maybe a new identity that this team maybe should, look into adapting for every single game, playing with that mindset of trying to get every rebound, trying to make sure you get a second chance opportunity as much as you can. And the Lakers did that today, and that defense really dropped. And I'm not going to say Luka did not really have a great game. This was a bad game for Luka. He did hit a big 3 down the stretch, but 29 points, 7 for 25, and ugly 2 for 14. I feel like this run really did start when Luka got back on the floor just because the defense, it struggled. And I think Marcus Smart Vando should have came back in for Marcus Smart because Vando was providing a lot of defensive intensity. And we look at this, let me just look now. This team had 8 blocks, 13 steals compared to the 5 blocks and 11 steals the Suns had. And I'll get to the Suns because this comeback was led by a lot of factors. But we'll get to that in just a sec because I want to talk about the Lakers because that's what we're here to talk about. It's the Lakers, the biggest market team in the NBA. But yeah, they had, overall, the Suns had 19 turnovers. The Lakers had 21 turnovers, and a lot of those came down the stretch in the fourth quarter. And you want to know what thing I really dislike about this Lakers team? Is these stupid possessions where it's just Luka or LeBron heavily contested 3. This team works best when the ball is moving. If we're just playing iso ball, that's not how you're going to win a game. Okay, now occasionally you do have to go to that. Like you do, if you need a bucket, yeah, Luka, LeBron, they'll get you a bucket. Hey, LeBron nearly sold this game, by the way, by missing that free throw, that technical free throw, and then he got fouled by D-Book, but still, like, there's got to be some urgency here. Okay, this Laker team has to have urgency in developing an identity. Okay, a defensive identity, an offensive identity. It cannot just be down the stretch, Luka Doncic, heavily contested 3. Because if there's games like this is a game you should have lost, Lakers. Lakers fans, y'all should have lost this game. And it didn't happen. And, I mean, I want to shout out some more, like, Jackson Hayes had a great, like, the bench players all did their job today. The bench guys were good. This is what you want from bench guys. Okay, Marcus Smart, 2 bonehead plays, but he still, prior to that, was playing good. And I want to, like, Rui was bad this game, but a win is a win. You take the win, and you just keep going. A win is a win, all right? But I would love to see these 2 teams in the playoffs. Ooh. Because this team was getting real chippy. LeBron, he wanted to kill Dillon Brooks. But yeah. Let's get to the Suns now. And speaking of Dillon Brooks, obviously I already mentioned that huge 3 to take the lead should have been and 1. And the officiating just wasn't really on the side of the Suns. I mean, it was just kind of a bit lopsided, which is just kind of how it is with Lakers games. You can't really complain because, well, the Lakers have Luka Doncic and LeBron, who are both great at drawing fouls. And I'm not going to say that a lot of these calls were bad. I just think a lot of these calls were like, if you're not going to, you got to call it both ways, okay? You can't miss the call on Dillon Brooks, which, because you missed that call, that led to him, pressing Braun and getting that technical foul. And D-Book, obviously, that is a foul, but you got to call it both ways. Like, the officiating was weird. It was weird this game. But Mark Williams continues to show that, hey, the Lakers, why? You should have traded for him. Imagine you had a backcourt of Ayton, Mark Williams, Jackson Hayes. That would be a pretty solid backcourt because Dalton Connect isn't even getting any PT. He's kind of fallen off a cliff, and which sucks. I mean, I don't know. But I want to give a big shout out to, obviously, Devin Booker had some big free throws down the stretch. And what's his name? Colin Gillespie? I'm probably butchering that name. Huge threes down the stretch of this game to really get the Suns back into this game. And yeah, like I said, the Suns should have won this game. They deserved this win. The Lakers did not deserve this win because the Suns, their defense really turned up. They were forcing the Lakers into making bonehead turnovers, and they were converting it in a transition. Remember, this team is going to be fat. Almost a lot of these Western Conference teams are going to be faster in the transition than the Lakers because the Lakers, you got Luka, who's not super fast, LeBron, he's 41, about to be 41. And so it's just like you gotta take advantage. And hey, Mark Williams, Dillon Brooks, despite Dillon Brooks really came alive during that fourth quarter. He was struggling because he was in early foul trouble. He came alive and he was, a culture setter. He really, sometimes all you need is just 1 or 2 plays and that completely shifts the energy of the game. And that's what Marcus Smart did for this Suns team. But hey, you were able to, that huge block on Marcus Smart. I think that might have been by Mark Williams or Nick Richards. But anyways, the Suns bench was decent. Royce O'Neal, but hey, it was really those starters who started to come alive. Dylan Brooks started to come alive during that fourth quarter and play great ball. Play the ball that this Suns team is used to playing. And this Suns team has come back down 20 before. I think the first game, the opener, the home opener, I think they came back down 20. Forgot what team it was. I think maybe the Kings, but yeah, it sucks for Suns. They should have won this game. The Lakers, you don't deserve this game. And this game just has me more worried for the Lakers. I mean, more worried and a little bit optimistic about certain things. Coming from a guy who's a part Lakers fan. More Raptors, but we're going to get to that later tonight. And I'm going to do a little video talking about the Spurs as well. That I know I'm going to be a bit late to the party, as always. But hey, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe, comment. I'd love to hear what you guys think. And yeah, take care and peace. Ooh, Spurs versus Knicks. That's going to be a classic. Hopefully.